Hello, everybody. So it's Monday, and you know what awaits for you and for all those folks like are in their bed. Hey, we have the morning beef that is surely gonna warm you up and get you going with your day. Jules, thank you so much for joining us once more this Monday. How are you feeling?
I'm still in one piece.
You still in one piece?
I'm still in one
What's in
piece.
pieces? You pass them in with their pieces?
A
That's
lot
for
of
the
times.
beef, Jules. That's for the beef. You're supposed to come whole.
Right, exactly. You know, how do they say it? Some people should take the weekend to unwind, but some of us simply unravel.
You seem like that type of person.
I just
So-
fall to pieces, but I recompose myself by Monday morning.
There
Okay,
we
so
go.
you're happy you're back, right?
Back.
And you're ready for that? Because we definitely have some topics here that I know a couple of them want to make your vein pop out a little bit.
No,
No, you
the meat today is medium rare.
you said that
Has
last
a
time?
cool red center.
Okay. All right.
So that's the plan for today.
That's a lie.
That's
He
what's
tells
on the
himself.
that's what's on the menu for today, folks. A medium rare beef.
Medium rare, cool red center.
All right, so let's warm it up. No, so let's start talking about Mr. Moises Cal. So there's been a big controversy with everybody saying, why are you appointing this individual to be part of, the committee where he's been put at? And so it turns out, no more Moises Cal.
Moises no más.
Moises
Recalled.
no más.
No más. So the indication is from multiple sources is that the government will relent in its very mad attempt to force Moises Cal upon the Public Service Commission of Belize. I have received information from multiple sources which says that they are rethinking it and they entirely misconceived misadventure of taking this person who does not have a spotless public record and putting him in a position that is supposed to preside over all the public service. It was so ill-conceived, and that the government realizes it's just not worth it for all the opposition we will face. And it's Channel 7 who first broke the story, and we've remained on it, and because it's a major governance issue. I don't want to be self-righteous at all, but I'm saying that if you can't, these fundamental posts, which are a pillar of good governance,
Yeah.
if you can't get those right, it really it leaves a lot to be desired for hopes of good governance. So we don't like to congratulate people for doing their job. So we won't do that. But I acknowledge that at least the Prime Minister and those at the highest levels of the government have ears to hear.
Yes.
So, and they heard.
But
Yeah.
you know, this is what I always say, the importance of media and people standing up, because if you see something like this, if we had been quiet, if we left it as it is, I don't think there would be no mass. I don't think there would be any recall or anything like that, because you feel like it's okay. When you make a ruckus, if you make some kind of noise and let people understand, no, we're not tolerate this, we don't think this is the best decision. We put you in this place to help govern us in the proper way, and this is not a good governance decision you're making. I do understand that. I think these are the different steps that are supposed to be taken to allow for changes in the decision-making process in our country.
But it's all based on transparency. That only because it came to our attention through the offices of the great Shine Barrow. He received a letter of consultation as is required by law, and he shared that. And I'm saying that that is transparency. That's not how, because basically it's a leak
Yeah.
we got from the leader of the opposition. But I'm saying that these things should be made public, just like the Social Security loan applications or loan proposals are made public. These things have to be made public so that you can hear the views of the public and the relevant criticism. That's how transparency works.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's not your private business. Just put it out there.
That's true.
Right?
That's all out there.
Yeah. So that's what transparency is about.
So as we move right along, 'cause we got several more for God, Jules. You're done at this one here, okay? I see you to be really nice right now. I'm really
Right?
proud of you. Like,
Yes, he's
you
so
didn't even
calm.
talk.
But
Normally, it might be like,
Wait.
put the thing out there, man. Or like, you know, but
But that's
Because-
how you start grilling, right?
no,
you
but
ease
at
into
the
it.
same time, because we've had success, and it's
this is
not
a happy Jew.
it's not our success. It is
The country's
for the
success.
benefit
Yeah.
of the place we call Believe.
Okay.
We
So,
love it so there.
Yeah,
We
I
love
wonder who is gonna be the replacement.
Well,
didn't you say how that the public service union they gave some like
Right.
representatives to as well to
right.
consider?
The public service gave names of 3 outstanding persons with a deep knowledge of how the public service works. And I will see. I mean, obviously, the government is under no obligation to take their suggestions.
Very
but
true.
The persons whose names they put forward are excellent exemplars and not people who are unsympathetic to the PUP. It's not like they enlist of 3 UDP. They did not do that. So we'll wait and see.
We'll wait and see. And in the meantime, while we wait and see, let's move on to our next topic.
Yes.
PM Briceno's Fable of Fortune.
You know, I was so moved. It is a fable of fortune. It seemed like I felt like I was in standard 6 again. And you know, anytime they can give motivational speakers like, you can do it, Jules. And so I'd like to play this this clip that from
Please.
Friday's MSME the strategy launch. MSMEs are micro, small, and medium enterprises. So let's hear this charming narrative from
I
the
want to
Prime
get
Minister.
motivated. It's Monday.
Roll it, guys.
In 1986,
Motivation.
there were 2 young men that just come back from college, and they had this wonderful business opportunity. But guess what? They could not access capital. They can't borrow money and say, "Well, you don't have no experience. We don't know if you know what you do. You can't access. You don't have no collateral." And so finally, these 2 young men went to their mother, and their mother's life work was a small little house that she built. And she loved her 2 sons so much, she said, "Listen, I'm going to give you my house to go and mortgage." And because of that mortgage, they managed to be able to go to the credit union, not to the banks, and they borrowed $20,000 to start their business. And the 2 brothers look at one another and say, "Well, you know what? We can't make the sell Mama house. She worked all of her life to build this house." And so within 18 months, those 2 brothers paid off that loan. Those 2 brothers are my brother Jaime and myself.
Yeah.
You know, like when he started saying that, I'm like, is he talking about himself and his
Like
brother?
he's not talking about himself, right?
Yes, I was-
But he is, because it's all about, you know, it's a very interesting, it's a humble brag.
Yeah.
That is because all this is a counterpoint to the fact that we rich. We are fabulous successes. And in fact, he and Jaime and the Briceno family and the Prime Minister, they are a conglomerate that is worth in the millions, if not tens of millions of dollars. They made it. But you miss an important part of the story, man. We made it in a government. At the time, he was not. In 1986, he was not. I accept that. But he had an enabling environment. His father and his uncle were both very successful politicians in Orange Walk. In 1993, he became a part of the government and has been a part of the government since then. And that has been a part, I'm not saying anything untoward, but that has been a part of the enabling environment. These guys are fabulous successes. I'm not undermining them. They own a Belizean conglomerate, real. They have varied, diverse interests that are hugely profitable in multiple areas. But like, you not just give we one story about yourself as
Testimony.
a total humble brag. Because it's like the relevant, apart from being very self-referential and reverential, the point of the story is that watch how small we start and you see where we got now.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
18
yo,
months,
you
yeah, that's
receive a telecoms license for Smart when your government was in, when you were the deputy prime minister. Not sure it was deputy PM at the time because that was wrong G7. But I'm saying that, like, you're kind of missing a leave part of the story.
Yes, definitely.
Right? And I am saying that I understand that, you know, it's meant, I'm sure he meant it in the best way as an inspiration, but sometimes you have to see yourself, and I consider it quite self-regarding. And at the same time, I am waiting for the Netflix movie. I thought the Shine Netflix movie was going to be the one.
No, man. No.
No, see something like that, Shine would do that. I mean, he's a Grammy winning. How many records has he? It's like he would do that. That's ABC for him because he always talking about himself. My point, right, with Shine, like that's ABC for him.
You expect that.
Yeah, you can hear it in Shine. I won't do it.
You're not
But-
doing the impersonation.
Yeah, well, you know, I grew up Curacao Street. I grew up on Curacao Street. I went to Brooklyn, Buckshot, Bed-Stuy, and I sold 40 million records. So we
Bad
both
boys
have prime
club.
ministers who are going to have Netflix movies about
I
them.
can see that. I can definitely.
You know? Exactly, yeah, but yeah.
Well-
I had to note that one from the prime minister. Like,
I mean, I know that you've worked hard for something, but you also have to understand the different factors that other small
Yeah.
business owners would not have in that same
yeah,
situation.
if you become the deputy prime minister for 10 years,
Yeah.
from 1998 to 2008, you too can succeed. But again, you know, I'm not saying that's what created the Briceno success, but that's a part of the story.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because you
that's
have
a
different
huge
connections.
part.
You have different
Yeah.
links that can be able to help
Yeah.
you, with, like just in general,
A
marketing,
huge
resources,
part.
all of those things.
Definitely.
So you have to pay attention to the bigger pictures or the other factors that are contributing to the success. I mean, kudos to you for building your empire and for the payoff that, because mama work hard for your house. I completely understand that, but also at the same time, the relatable factor kind of got lost in the translation when you look at the other internal factors, external factors that have to be, you know.
Yeah,
looked at.
and also like the relevance of it. Because when that started, that was years ago, right? Where the current situation of inflation and cost of living is so different now, where we also talk about legislations and whole government structures that really, is it enabling for MSMEs to come up? So I can see where he's coming from with the inspiration and wanting to reach out to people, but sink it to reality, I'm like, does it?
Yeah, but you know, again, self-referential. I feel.
Yeah.
And I feel, you know, as politicians, your stock in trade should not only be to project humility, but to actually be humble.
Yeah.
Right? To be humble. So I can't ever say that that George Price or Manuel Esquivel would relate such a story.
No.
So, but anyway.
Yeah,
Different
but
strokes
so
for
like
different
this
folks.
this inspiration moment came from the MSME launch.
Right.
Right. So our next line is so is this a new hustle from the government?
So let's be very clear. MSMEs are the heart. Channel 7 is a small enterprise, less than 20 employees. So we have all respect for the MSME initiative. It is, I will quote Francis Fonseca and say that it's not just important, it's absolutely important. Absolutely. So it's absolutely important. When he said that, you know it's on.
Right.
Once you hear two absolutely, this one is rated two absolutely.
Absolutely.
So it's absolutely. So it's very important, and I won't ever, and the drive the government is going on is indeed critical for economic growth. But at the same time, MSMEs, micro, small, and medium enterprises create opportunities to get your friends contracts. And this is something that we have to watch. I'm not saying that's why MSMEs exist. No. But there are a lot of new people who can get into business and say we're MSMEs. You have to help me out. For example, we're aware that the Ministry of Health and Wellness, the strong suggestion I'm not sure it's a clear directive, but you don't have to give a clear directive in government. You can make it clear in other ways that they are to make purchases from a company called Azur Khan, computer purchases.
Okay.
Yeah.
again, supporting a micro enterprise, but relationships within those things have to be looked at. I think we have the invoices, Abdul, from Azur Khan, and you can see these invoices were dated in February, but it was in such a haste. If we can show the wider shot of this invoice, it does not have a tax identification number.
Okay.
At the time, in February, the company did not have a certificate of good standing or those things that are required for companies to make it into the system. You can see that it has a deposit to a personal bank account number. This is just the invoice. But it's dated in February. So, but again, no doubt a micro or small enterprise, but it's a way to turn people on as well. And once you're doing that, are you still receiving competitive bids is a critical part of how the government should work. Are you still observing the best principles of good governance in supporting these micro enterprises? Obviously, you cannot do business with a company that does not, on its invoice, state a TI and a tax identification number, right? Because then how does the government get its revenue? So I'm just saying these are things that we have to watch because remember, I brought this up last time, the government boasted, the previous minister boasted that they had opened up the tendering process for meds and included all these new businesses, but a lot of those businesses were incapable of delivering. And we had critical shortages. This affects public health. And the public does not receive value for money. We had critical shortages of key medications, and we received medications that were not efficacious, had low efficacy, and were of substandard quality. So I'm saying that it's all good and well, but you can't just, enterprises can't just be created for the purpose of, boy, make a turn on. Hey, I get in a
Right,
government.
that's what I'm thinking.
I'm
It
going
can't
to start sell
come also
boots to
that way.
BDF. I'm going to start sell boots to BDF, Kevin. I want to sell boots just like your boots. Loan Doc Martens, the BDF, and wear. So you going to get in that business there.
Yeah.
And I'm going to turn you on, and you going to,
Yeah.
you
Exactly. That's what I'm thinking. It's like how like these people from the talented purse are gonna benefit, right? Because I mean, if we're saying MSMEs are gonna get tax exempted for some years, and then we're close to people within party, I'm like,
Yeah.
like you're rightly saying, we have the need for such thing. Go ahead and create that business, and then we're gonna support you.
Yeah.
Rather than the business that are already established that can provide.
Right, but
that kind of
again, you have to
support.
create opportunity. I'm not saying all MSMEs are about that at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not
But
the
it
case.
definitely-
But it creates the opening,
Uh-huh.
right,
Yes,
for that,
yes.
right?
Yeah.
Because when I go into politics, Kevin, I had to buy boots from you and Renata. I supply government with boots, and we are. You got on some quality boots right now.
It's the rain.
Quality footwear.
That's true, that
Quality footwear.
But it does.
Show me them boots there. Those boots are made for walking. For walking right into money. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So that's something we're just being aware of, right?
Yeah. So Jules, with the MSME, what are your thoughts about the overall proposal, though? When it comes to the MSMEs going exempted for some years from taxes, allowing businesses to flourish, what are your thoughts on the roadmap?
I think
that
it's
was
great.
presented?
It has to be done. Obviously, we have a top-heavy government, a public sector-led government. We have to, small, and medium enterprises are really the lifeblood of the private sector.
Exactly.
As a small enterprise, I know this, and we need more opportunities. We need more business. I'm just saying that it is one of the most important drives that the government can do, and they're doing it countrywide, and it's a big part of funding they're receiving from multilaterals because they understand that this is what will lift people out of
Yeah.
real poverty when you create opportunities across the board, because the whole idea of trickle-down economics is, as we know, that if big people make big money, eventually it'll trickle down. It doesn't work. So, indeed, opportunities need to be spread out.
I'm looking forward to seeing that, but there has to be, I don't know, some kind of monitoring process to make sure that these small and medium businesses, the enterprises, we don't have the loophole like that, like we're just talking about somebody come out of nowhere, because
Yeah, but those are controls in the government.
Yeah.
Government has to acknowledge the bidding process the competitive bidding process, at all times the tendering process. So that's a whole other kettle of fish. Don't blame that on the MSMEs. In terms of if there are no strict controls and if there is no transparency in government. So I get a copy of those invoices, right? Those invoices, I should not have to, somebody not have to leak me that. That's my money you
But just
spend.
send it to you, but had you will see ya?
Post it, will you do this, will you do that? Kill me, inundate me with a mega download of everything on the do. Flood me with it so that I can't complain because I'll be too busy reviewing invoices. That's not your money.
Right.
But the Prime Minister no want open a smart stream because somehow he thinks it's his business, right? Anyway, but shine and open up the smart stream.
You know,
That and open up like a flow of rap.
It's gonna.
Yeah.
Lord,
No government will ever open up the smart stream. Let's just be real about
no,
that.
we could have hope in something better. So,
Yeah, I'm hoping someday that they will have limited opening of it that you can see it has to be done.
yeah, eventually.
It has to be done, but nobody will ever really open it up.
No, they were saying what they want, and they're like, the
Exactly.
picture, remember? And they're like,
Yeah.
then I wanted the best one to make it look pan right now. You could say, I
Yeah,
want
exactly.
it later, you know. I wanna
Exactly.
see
Yeah.
it later.
Exactly.
But as we move along in our couch talk, let's talk about Mica and the law school leave of absence.
Mica Gooden, city councillor, and say it aloud, children, rebel forever.
Oh yeah.
Forever though, not just for a day or a week or a month. He is going to rebel now at law school. We're reliably informed. Well, it's been rumored for many weeks that and this is how the PUDP works. When one of your members runs into that rocky reef and you can't find no place to put her, you have to send her to law school. That's one of the rules of politics. I don't know what is the arrangement, if he's getting a government scholarship or what's the arrangement, and I won't presume upon that. But I know that I'm told that the counselor is going to apply for a leave of absence. I'm aware a leave of absence is only 6 months, sorry. But I don't know how it will work, but we're reliably informed that Mica Gooden is going to law school. But you see, you have to understand the peculiarity of Mica Gooden. He's a child of the PUP.
Yeah.
And he has friends in high places in the PUP. He's from Fort George. He has Henry Charles Usher is his area representative. I know he's always, he's a very determined supporter of the Prime Minister. And when you get in rebellious trouble, not good trouble, when you get in bad trouble, you know,
they got good trouble
when
and
they
bad
talk
trouble.
about good trouble, he ain't getting
Rebel
alone bad
forever.
trouble. He ain't getting a bad trouble. But how politics works is that everybody has to stay in the family, how political parties work. Because really running the government is about keeping our family fed and together.
Yeah.
So Mica's going to law school, and he, I'm told, will apply for a leave of absence from City Council. Now, I have a problem with this because, man, we vote for you. We vote for you for 3 years. I didn't vote, but I'm just saying people voted.
Right.
Yeah.
You're an elected representative of the people, so I think you're duty bound to serve out your term. But I don't know if it's a rebel in him, but it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. But it does happen. Other city councillors I know before have basically they vacate their seats, right? They vacate their seats and they go and study law or pursue other studies. I've seen it before. But again, it's far from ideal, but I wish him the best.
Yeah. I mean, it's really interesting because, as you rightly mentioned, they're supposed to be governing. They have like a place within city council. So it's like.
So the series of events that have taken us to
Yeah.
this place now, like for me, when I look at it from an outside angle, I'm thinking, okay, obviously the whole city council, deputy mayor thing was not working for you. So you're saying, you know what? I want a fresh new area for work in and for develop myself. So why not go to law school or try something new?
Right, but within the.
Because the
but-
country needs more lawyers. We don't have enough.
I will
don't
fight
have
for the
enough.
people. We need more liars.
We have so few.
We need to
For
take
more
Brandon
rebels.
out of commission, huh?
For more rebels.
From our rebels, because I are
Yeah.
rebel.
But my thing is like, so, but you have 3 years, right? So, I mean,
Why not wait?
who's gonna do who's gonna do your work that you're supposed
He
to
has
be
no
doing?
work at the city council.
Okay.
Because the mayor can't get along with the man.
He must have come to the WhatsApp group already, you know.
He
And
done left the WhatsApp group. Michael left this.
rebel. I hope he put the message though.
Rebel forever. When he left, rebel forever. Then Michael left. Michael just left.
Drop mic.
Wow.
Drop mic from Mica. But like I said, the only way I see it is just the fact that you're not seeing yourself in an environment where you can be able. You're not being able to work in this environment. They're not be able to get things from you. So you say, you know what? I'm going to leave and go to law school. Go to some school and do something. But again, I go back to just like what Kevin and yourself are saying. Is just why no? You have a term for.
Well, let's be very clear. If you have a contract to work at any place for a salary, you're not to work for free. You can't just leave.
Yeah,
Right?
that's what I'm thinking.
If you are working here for a salary, you can't just leave. You have to end your contract or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
Right?
I mean, it really like speaks out to just like he just capturing the platform, right? He's at a position where he's working at the city council. He has the opportunity to get a scholarship or whatever funding, and well, it's there. It's why like you're in position for 3 years, so might as well take it now before the opportunity goes. And
That's
I'm just
it's
thinking at the voters'
PUDP
expense.
though. That is a PUDP practice. Because that's how we, the PUDP, build our family stronger.
Yeah.
Our family
We're
stronger.
not kick nobody out, you know.
Yeah, we keep everybody in. If you can't get long, take a break. We
put
got
you
your back.
somewhere else.
Exactly.
It makes sense. It makes complete sense because we're not to try to kick nobody out. But you know what? You know to work good at Uncle Betty. I mean, Auntie Betty, right? So I can put you over at this side here. Yeah. You want just chill out, do something else. But when you're ready to come back, when you get it together, then I'll bring you back in. But
Rebel forever.
Rebel forever. It's a family thing, a family affair.
A family affair. Yeah.
Right.
It makes sense.
So we should tell the viewers, stay tuned for what the Rebel Forever will do when he comes back from law school. Because it sounds like he'll be in the political realm doing something.
and
for-
you know, law. and
Belize
politics.
needs more lawyers.
Yeah,
of
Belize,
course.
we're very short.
Yeah.
Very
We
short.
lawyers, doctors, all these different. We really lucky.
No, we actually do need more doctors, but we don't need more lawyers. We have an overpopulation, but that's another argument for another time.
Yeah.
Speaking of lawyers, the greatest lawyer in Belize, Chester Williams, my favorite, can't wait till he goes into private practice so I can have him on full-time retainer, just so I can call him, yo, what's up? So, I have to take note of what I call his ever-evolving narratives. You know, the government already, the police department already defamed, I believe, Michael Main. Michael Main was a person who they wanted to speak to, but they put out a thing, wanted for murder.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Wanted for murder. On a tissue, a thread of circumstantial evidence that he's shuttling around a certain area at the time of a murder. This is Michael Main. And then, but you know, once you go there and make a statement saying that against the police, then Chester's fangs come out. Because he went off on this kid, you know, he said, you know, well, why the drive wrong there? And at that time, and why miss work the next day? Because people don't miss work. You know, but I'm saying, okay, there may be reason for you all suspicion, but it's not compelling evidence. You don't got a man with a firearm. You don't have the man literally at the scene. You don't have any real, other than his vehicle or the sports council vehicle he was in was driving in that area at the time and jump over some bridge or was driving fast and the man missed work the next day. You know, the day you miss work, Renata, I know you commit murder the day before. That's the first sign of murder. Renata know they at work? That she killed somebody
That she must
yesterday?
have done something,
She's the
yeah.
prime suspect. That
Yes.
immediately makes her prime.
Darn.
I'm just saying, and this is the sickness with Chester. But it's a beautiful, his maladies are beautiful. And so his sicknesses are sweet. But
Wow. That's so poetic, Jules.
This is what he inspires in me. But my point is that because Michael Mann and his attorney came forward and complained about this wanted post that the man lost his job, his whole life thrown into upheaval.
Yeah.
This is a man who had already been a victim of a crime at the Sports Council when he was robbed, shot and robbed. I'm just saying that the commissioner puts together these threads of circumstantial evidence, throws the kid under the bus. He's released in the next 24 hours. He's released in the next 24 hours. All for what? And again, it's this. It's these that he has to change, or he has to evolve the narrative to match this wanted poster that they put out. Imagine they put out a wanted poster about you. Indeed, they may need to question you. You may be a person of interest. Why you may be in that area? Why? Those are legitimate questions.
Yeah.
But not plaster the man for murder like it upon the run.
Especially for
at least like
that specific person too as well, because we always have to go back to thinking when people read these wanted posters, they're just like, okay, what kind of qualm you have? And if I know that person, that could bring a whole
Exactly. Yeah, because the gang
put the life
and your life
that
too
changes
as well,
the life completely.
and your family life.
Of course.
You have to now look over your shoulder a lot more because of just the person that you are wanted for murder for. You could have nothing to do with it,
Yeah.
Even just the idea, and even wanted for murder, just the idea of wanted for questioning all these things. Like you put out a poster on this, there is automatically a threat, wanted. Something is on your back now because
of course you have a target on you.
You have a target. You have a target.
Of course, it's very reckless.
Change
I was reflecting on that over the weekend. It's like about the generosity of information that Chester Williams shares on his interviews. And I'm reflecting this because I saw some like interviews that I went and I saw some reviews that officials in the U.S. they would give, and it's like very brief. It's to the point, and the information they would share is not going to be shared until they're completely factual that what I'm going to put out there is true. But whenever like he would share stuff, it's like he just takes the opportunity to just share all of his thoughts, and I'm thinking, what are the repercussions about people, what is
But because it's a public relations campaign, right? That entire press briefing was held because he begs with his former minister, Mike Perfeet,
okay,
for saying that, the police messed up. So it's like, no, you didn't.
We have evidence, okay?
Right.
We have video footage,
exactly.
cars, places. We know that he checked out the book. The book says something, Jules. The book said that you may sign out the vehicle that time, and guess what? You never come to work the next day. And that wali fishy. That wali fishy because how you not come to work the next day?
Yeah, those are just, raw. And I'm also informed, I don't know who made this decision, but the Canadian ex-soldier who was charged for murder, he was allegedly driving the persons who went and committed the Hopkins murder, right? The gunman who went and committed that terrible shooting in Hopkins. I am quite reliably informed that, the initial indication is that he would be charged for abetment to murder. There was uncertainty that he could even be charged for that. And then he was charged for murder. The Commissioner Williams said that he got that directive from the DVP's representative in the South. I do not know that he did. I am informed that the line of communication may not be that clear. But I find it very interesting that they charge a Canadian, he's the guy at the back, that they charge him for murder, when, as I understood it, the clear advice was that we're not even sure he can be charged for abetment. But the commissioner, who is, may I underscore, greatest attorney in Belize, and it's a pleasure to have him in public life, that he was advised that there may not even be evidence, or the investigators were advised that there may not be evidence of abetment. But we'll see where it goes.
The thing here is, like, again, talking about the generosity with the information shared is about feeding your ego and showing that, hey, I am doing a really good job here. That's everything it boils down to.
I know why to do.
Yes.
I know why to do. So when you can tell me that
I'm going to give you all this information so that you know that I'm doing a great job.
You tell me that was a mistake. I can tell you something, honey bun. No. I know what I did because X, Y, and Z happened. X, Y, and Z happened. So guess what? It upon him. I was right for doing all of these things. Drop mic.
Drop drones. I'm going to drop a drone per Mike per feet. And Jules cause a favor.
Oh, yes.
Your Uncle P.
Uncle P, that's what you just saying.
When
He's
I start
never
take
wrong.
selfies together, who work best?
Yeah, exactly. Look for that. Coming soon.
Coming
Yeah.
soon to the,
It's
to
really
the
about
neighborhood by
defending
you.
his ego, honestly. It
Yeah.
really, really, really boils
And
down to that.
This is I want to see, like I said, I want to see how it's gonna unfold, because when you put then I kind of mix up again with somebody that's in a gang,
Yeah.
that person's life now change. Don't lose your job. So
Yeah.
it's changed. It's
Yeah.
changed. Even if you find out that he's completely innocent, you still change. You still have that on you for the rest of your life.
Right.
That's the problem.
And we have one last item to discuss, Jules, which is the Vulcan.
Cometh.
Oh, Vulcan. Yes, Vulcan, they're a very serious set of people. And we'll make this quick because I know time is running out, Chantel. But Vulcan, the Deputy Prime Minister who's responsible for mining could not have made it clearer.
Right.
No. And so I spoke to the Vice President for Corporate Communication and External Relations. And, she was like, I asked very plainly, what part of no don't you understand? And she was like, well, we just want to have a conversation. These people, Vulcan, they are very determined to get into the White Ridge Farm Estate for aggregate quarrying. It's not strip mining, it's aggregate quarrying.
Okay.
They are very determined to do this. They have a very spotty environmental record in Mexico that the federal government shut them down.
Right.
I am just saying that it will be an interesting push and pull. This government is desperately looking for foreign direct investment, FDI. That is what the Prime Minister is always talking about.
Yeah.
They have not brought a big investment to Belize since being elected. On the UDP's term, they had ASR, they had Norwegian down south. These are blue chip foreign direct investors. The PUP, I'm sure they will get one, but they are looking for FDI. It will be interesting to see the push and pull. We know that the Minister of Natural Resources, his sympathies, his leanings are grassroots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He heard the Gales Point community, and before he know why he nothing, we know they did that.
Yeah.
Respect to that.
Right.
But I want to see what the government will say, because the government is very pro-business. Vulcan is the largest quarrying and aggregate company in the United States.
Okay.
It will be very hard for the government at the highest levels to tell them not going to consider it. We will wait and see. The Minister of Natural Resources has spoken, but Vulcan is very persistent.
They just want to talk.
When they talk to you, they can turn salt into sugar. So I will be very interested to see how it goes. We'll be watching it very closely. They said they will be here in the next few weeks just to talk to everybody. And so, they're promising jobs, they're promising exports, guaranteed exports into the United States, but those lovely hills will be
Risk.
will be not as pristine as you see them now. But let us wait and see. I've taken up too much of your time.
Sure.
Time's
Kick
up.
you off. We have to
So
kick
it
you
was
off.
it was really a medium rare beef today.
It was medium
Not
rare.
bad. It never
medium rare.
gone
I did
off.
not turn the heat on.
I know. You normally go to put your hand down and do
I
a
not
whole-
put my hand down.
Yeah, do all of that.
I am a kinder, gentler human being.
I'm so proud of you, Jules. Let's see how long this lasts.
You know what?
It's the weather.
It's a
see how-
fable of fortune that turned me around.
Okay,
I
I'm so
realized
proud
when the Prime Minister said that, I need to be more like him.
Yeah, because you know what? You
Humbleness.
too need to pay off in 18 months that $20,000, okay?
Not going well.
Yeah, it's not going well, Jules. It's not
It's
going
the
well. You
humbleness,
need to
Jules.
go,
The
you go have a
Yeah.
But with that, guys, I hope you really enjoyed the beef. We're going to go to our first commercial break. But when we are back, we're going to be talking about amazing art exhibit on breastfeeding. We have a beautiful sunrise for you, courtesy of
Courtesy of Mr. Jesus Cantun from Orange Walk.
Jesus Cantu from Orange Walk. I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for this. We truly appreciate it. I'm loving it. This is Jules. You see how nice it is? You see?
Jules,
I try.
but you do a
tried.
great job too.
You did a good job too,
Yes,
Jules,
you
right?
do.
Sometimes But with that, guys, we're going to go to our commercial break. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.